What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and look who I've found in the middle of Liverpool One. How are you, John?
I'm sound, mate. You? How's your
Yeah,
stay?
sound. What you say?
How's your stay?
It's all right. Look,
How's it going now? What did you do? Rub your ring on it?
rubbed your missus ring on it.
Oh, yeah.
It was superb. Nah, it was. I literally just rubbed it yesterday, and it just went pop.
Brilliant.
Beautiful,
Nothing better than
beautiful.
rubbing it and it popping.
Ah, fantastic. Anyway, what you doing in Liverpool then, John?
Cheers,
What's going
everyone.
on?
Oh, well, this
No,
is the second coming, isn't it? Of fucking the Bullens view, isn't it? Tonight in the beer cellar. Got
yeah.
Kevin Ratcliffe and Degsy Mountfield on. Really looking forward to it. If it's as good as the first one or half as good as the first one, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic. I know you were there. I know you couldn't make it tonight because of obviously work commitments and that, but I'm sure that the lads, Ben, and Lee and all that are going to put another superb night on.
Yeah, of course I will. Of course I will. Credit to them as well. Credit to them.
Yeah, they're smashing it.
Let's get straight into it. Straight into it. Everton take on Brighton the weekend at the MX Stadium, a game that I was meant to be going with them too. Unfortunately, I cannot go. Tough game.
But listen, right, Brighton have won 2 out of 2, and to be honest, I don't even think their own supporters would have probably thought they'd start the season like that. But look on the positive side, Michael. The way Everton have started the season, we got a draw at Leeds. Leeds are a hard team to go to. We won at home. Rafa's first 2 games in the league. Do you know what I like about it, Michael? There's commitment there. Every player knows his position. He's working for the team and they're playing for the badge. And this is it, And I go into this game confident against the team who's won their first 2 games. But I think there's a feel-good factor around Goodison at the minute. And listen, I'm not going to stand on top of the rooftops and shout it because there's still some people unsure about Rafa. I was, quite quietly confident about the acquisition of Rafa Benitez because, as I said many times, Michael O'Neill, and I've said to you in private, what do Everton fans expect us to get? We're a mid-table team. We've won nothing since 1995. We tried the Silvers, we tried the Koeman. We've gone down the big name, as in Carlo Ancelotti. None of them have worked. So he's been brought in to stabilise the club, and already I see stability. He's got the players playing for the shirt, and there's players who we've slagged off on here. Like Iwobi, for example. Iwobi's been fantastic this season. The first 3 games Iwobi's played, I know involves substitutes or start or what have you. It's just as if, like, we've watched the training videos, Michael, and there's more intensity in the training, in the game. So you're getting more out the players now. And I'm not going to sit here and slag Carlo Ancelotti off because it's gone. He's gone. It's done. He's gone. We've tried it and that didn't work. It's more intensity. There's more fight. There's more pride. There's more pride in the players now, Michael. And these players who weren't really doing it under Carlo are doing it now.
Yeah, do you know what? I think you've hit the nail on the head. The only reason you've been really, really positive on the phone about Rafa Benitez, and you was when we signed him, and it was credit to you because you ended up being right about Carlo. So hopefully, touch wood, you're right about Rafa. But I'm still sort of on the ground with Rafa at the minute. I'm still just, we had a fantastic start to last season.
Like a lot of Everton fans are, Michael. And do you know what? I don't blame you. But you've got to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, of course you have. And I think, if you just said to me after 7 games last season, Everton were going to be top of the league, and then 8 months later, Everton finished 10th, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have said, it's a minimum of Europe. So that's sort of why I'm just a little bit reserved. I think Rafa Benitez has come in. He's give the players that needed a kick up the arse in terms of maybe they showed enough in training, but not on the pitch, i.e. Iwobi, in my opinion. I even would go as far as saying Mason Holgate looks a little bit better when he's not with Michael Keane. I mean, when he's with Michael Keane, fucking hell, anyone could play. You could have any centre back in the world playing alongside Michael Keane at the minute and then look shit. But I think with his composure and things, think that looks better. I think Doucouré has come on leaps and bounds. I like Doucouré anyway, but he looks a different player under Rafa. And it's good that we're seeing that. it's good that we're seeing it. I even thought Tom Davies the other night when he played, I even thought he put in a good performance as well. So it is positive. There's no negatives to it. I just want to see it a lot longer than 7 games and a few patches like Carlo was.
I think you're getting an extra 10% out of them players you've just named there. The likes of your Tom Davises, that I named Iwobi. You get the feel of it, Rafa, though, Michael. I seen like a clip on Twitter the other day, and you seen Carlo standing there with his cup of coffee. You see Rafa with his notebook. He's constantly looking for things, and he's very, from that first whistle, he's engrossed for 90 minutes. We could be 5-0 down, and he'd still be there with his notepad, and on his pen. And that's what you want from a manager. Yeah, listen, you're not going to get Rafa Benitez running down the line when we score a goal like Duncan did when he was in temporary charge. You're not going to get
the
that.
Equivalent of me running down the line.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to move full stop. But I remember watching a thing of what Jamie Carragher was saying, and obviously he's played for Rafa Benitez, and he said, Rafa Benitez isn't the sort of manager who will come up to you and when you played well there, he'll tell you how you can improve even though you were man of the match. Which, okay, some players want mollycoddling, and there's a lot of players at Everton who want mollycoddling. But I think when Rafa's come in, the training's more intense. And from what we're seeing, Michael, it's positive. Listen, I'm not going to say we're going to win the league under Rafa Benitez because we're not. Do you know what I mean? I think he was brought in to stabilise the club. And from the first 3 games, I'm not going to shout it from the rooftops, but I see stability already. I really do, so it's confidence, and the players will go to Brighton knowing what they've got to do. And also, he's working on things. We see these training videos. He's always trying to get in behind the opposition's defence, getting the ball out wide, and he's brought players in who can do that. And it's worked. Look at Iwobi. He's had so many assists in so many games, and he scored 2 goals. Damari Gray, but that all comes down to the way the team's working together. And these big name players who we've gone on about, Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they don't stand out as much because these lesser players who we've been slagging off for years, who haven't been, playing with that blue shirt with pride, they're getting in the mix now. And for me, it's all it's all positive. It is positive.
Yeah, let's talk about the Everton starting 11 then for Brighton. It's a game that Everton will want to win. Ben Godfrey appears to be back in training. James Rodriguez appears to be back in training as well, by all accounts. There's certainly pictures of him. Moise Kean, I suspect, will not feature. It looks like he is on his way to Juventus. Me and you discussed Moise Kean at half time against who did we play the other night?
No, I didn't know. I'll have it if no one takes it, though. Go ahead.
You can't get rid of it. It's just brilliant. And when we played against Huddersfield, Moise Kean, 45 minutes. I was all right with him when I rang you. I said, look, I think he's put in more passionate, more fight. He scores a goal that was wrongly disallowed. I thought fair enough. I was happy with that. And then the dickhead gets sent off, and you just think, fuck's sake.
I know. To be honest, though, Michael, he didn't even argue the toss. It was as if he couldn't wait to get off the pitch. I think he knows what's going to happen. Mino Raiola's landed in Turin today, in Italy, and he's trying to push him towards Juventus. Maybe Weston McKennie comes in the other way. I've seen a few things that could be part of the deal. I'd take that myself personally. My take on Moise Kean. What I will say, and I did say to you the other day, that goal he scored was absolutely fantastic finish. It was a phenomenal finish. Now, if Moise Kean was linked with nobody else and it didn't look like he was leaving the club, that could have kick-started his Everton career. That finish, he was onside as well. It was a great finish. That's what we were seeing at PSG. We're seeing that. But I think probably it's a bit little too late for Moise Kean.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, let's talk about the starting 11 then. I'll go Pickford in goal, Luca Dean. Ben Godfrey walks straight into that side. I don't care how many days training he's had. He walks straight in. Yuri Mina, Seamus Coleman plays at right back. Yeah, your midfield 2, Alan Doucouré. Your front is normal. Damari Gray, Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and probably Iwobi. Probably plays in the 10 role for me.
I won't even tell you it's my team because I totally agree with Michael's team there. I don't think there's anybody else. I think that starting 11 is good enough to beat Brighton. I really do. We go into the international break after the weekend, Michael, with 7 points out of 9 and through to the next rounds of the cup. We would have thought that when Rafa Benitez come in, we had the fucking bed sheet gang. I bet you they're fucking quiet now. So it's positive, and I think we'll beat Brighton. I'm going for. I agree with your team, by the way. So no pointless giving mine. I'm going for 2-1 Everton.
Yeah, I think we could get a clean sheet here. I think if you drop Michael Keane, I think you're guaranteed, because every goal has been his fault. Every single goal we've conceded has been his fault.
And we've been linked with Maupai as well today, just to go off the talking about the.
I'm not feeling that at all. He's played 70 times for Brighton. He scored 20 goals.
Doesn't push us on, does it?
It doesn't push us on, and he reminds me a little bit of Andy Johnson. Andy Johnson worked his socks off. He just didn't score enough goals for us, and
same sort of player, I think.
But he can't finish, because if he could finish, Brighton would have finished in the Champions League last season.
Yeah, we need to be looking at better players, and we've been linked with Weston McKennie, and I think we need to go abroad if we're going to need a striker to come in. Unless obviously, listen, we've got the obvious ones. Harry Kane, we're not going to get him. Obviously, Jamie Vardy, and I've always liked Jamie Vardy, but I think for the position of Everton at the minute, Michael, we've got to look abroad, and we've got to bring someone in who will buy into Everton under Rafa Benitez, and be happy with that we're not in Europe. And, we've been linked with the Sheffield United fella as well. So, I think Marcel Brands has also realised his mistakes in the past as well, because we're linked with Jefferson, we're linked with the lad from Rangers as well. So I think Everton are realising now that they have messed up in the transfer window a long, long time, bringing these big name players in, putting them on big, big wages. Now they're going down sort of the youth line now, which I think that's what you've got to do now, Michael. I really do, because of the position we're in. We're not going to get these big, big stars. It's building for the future. It takes us into Bramley Moordock if these players make it.
A couple more questions, and just while you're here, and obviously everyone can get your thoughts in, but what about this shit with Richarlison? Do you believe it? Do you think he'll be an Everton player?
Do you think he'll be an Everton player till next summer? I think he'll go next summer. I think we all know that. I think me and you spoke the other day, Michael, on the phone. I think there's some sort of agreement with Everton and Richarlison. We let him go to the Olympics, and he gives us one more season. He'd done that with Carlo Ancelotti. He promised Carlo Ancelotti he'd give us one more season if he got into Europe. Everton asked him to do that. There's only so many times you can give a top player like Richarlison, give us one more season, give us one more season. In my opinion, unless we finish in the top 4, which, probably pushing the boat out, even though I am Mr. Positive lately, I think this time next season he'll probably be gone. I don't think he'll go now.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. When I saw the statement from Kia Robogin, I can't pronounce his name, and he comes out and he says, Everton need to expect a bid and look for alternatives. But literally an hour before that, Richarlison's putting pictures of him in an Everton kit and being happy on his Instagram. So I don't know. I don't believe it. But
for me, I might be wrong. Richarlison doesn't go before Tuesday. He doesn't go.
I'd be gutted if he did.
Listen, I watched your last video the other day, Michael, and you said Richarlison gets Everton, and he really does. He gets Everton, and we could sit here now, and we don't want to go on and on and on, but you go through the whole squad. How many of them players get Everton, Michael? There's not many.
Yeah, but no.
And one of our big hitters does. So, it'd be great to hold on to him for another season, this season. And then I think next season, if he has a good season, you're looking at probably 80, 90 at a push at 100 million quid. But that depends on, that depends on transfer fees, doesn't it, Michael? You're going to, there's going to be certain players who have a boss season. And then you've got to look at, well, hang on a minute, is he better than Richarlison? Totally agree with what you said the other day. We can replace Charleston's goals and assists, but you can't.
Can't replace his heart.
You can't, and it's hard to replace that work ethic that he has, as you pointed out many times, he does tackle back and he does play for the blue shirt. It's hard to find players now, Michael, these days who will play for the shirt. And it is hard. We've probably got one of the last of the best bunch now. So I think next season he's gone. I think he'll have a storming season this season. He's got a little break after this weekend. I think Everton will probably rest him at some point in the summer as well. Because, give him credit, Michael. He's just played two big competitions there and he didn't take all the time off that he was entitled to. That speaks volumes to me for Richarlison. It really does.
I'm going to ask you one last question. It's not Everton related. It's not a silly question either. No, it's not a silly question.
I'm nervous now.
No, it's about Manchester City. Obviously, they're not going to sign Harry Kane. Looks like they're signing Cristiano Ronaldo instead. Do you still make them title favourites?
I think they need a goal scorer, mate. Out goal scorer.
So you don't think Cristiano?
No. I think if they get Harry Kane, they win the league.
They're not gonna.
They're not getting Harry Kane. We know that. For me, Chelsea win the league.
Yeah, they've got a former blue up front. We made him.
So did West Brom, apparently.
No chance.
So for me, Chelsea are the finished article now. In my opinion, they've got a top manager. He's come in, he's made changes, he's kept some of Frank's squad there. But for me, the signing of the summer up to now. I won't even say up to now because I don't think anyone will beat it.
Tamari Gray.
Great signing, but we're not going to win the league, are we? Do you know what I mean?
We fucking will. Don't stop with that negativity, John. Winning the under 6 and under 7 rates. Just keep Gilfie away from it.
No, for me, Chelsea have put the icing on the cake with Romelu Lukaku. I think they win the league this season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Hopefully, I'd like to. Obviously, I appreciate with the baby and things it's difficult for you, but I'd like to have you on around deadline day, whether it be the day before, the day after, or the actual day. It'd be good to have you on, John. Give us your thoughts on the players that Everton bring in or don't bring in, because I expect it to be a busy end of the transfer window for Everton. Andre Gomes looks like he's going to be leaving to Benfica as well. So there's lots of ins and outs.
Yeah, well, I'll get on probably some point of Tuesday when the missus is on from work.
And
we'll see where we are. Outgoings and incomings. Well,
there'll be plenty of incomings, I can assure you, with your missus.
Look at this, though. I mean, look at this. It's like being a fucking stain. Look at this.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Oh, look at that.
Brilliant. Right. Goodbye, everyone. See you later.